Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Following a startling confrontation with Ridge, Brooke gets physical with Taylor. Brooke promises Ridge in the Forrester mansion that she would persuade Carter that his actions were wrong and secure his reinstatement as the company's leader. He turned to Taylor, so she was unable to tell him straight immediately, but they would work through everything. We must. Steffi is certain that Ridge won't pardon Brooke this time at the Cliff home. She sees the benefit of Taylor being able to spend more time with her father. Taylor thinks that in an attempt to win Ridge back, Brooke will put on the best show of her life. Brooke won't be able to win her father back this time, Steffi tells her mother. B&B with Taylor. Steffi. Luna informs Bill that she will sleep tonight at his house. Bill was unable to abandon her there. She will continue to pay back society, but she will do so there. He reminds her that she must keep quiet after they discuss her being under house arrest. Nobody can be aware of her presence. They embrace as Luna sobs that she is no longer in a cell. She informs Bill that she's having trouble understanding this and pulls back. You did this for me, but why? Bill claims that he didn't want Luna to be killed while incarcerated. He also considered their shared interests and wanted to give her what she had been lacking for years. Stability as well as a calm and safe home. Bill tells Luna to hide when they hear a car outside. When Will and Elektra enter, he adds, "This is the girl I've been wanting to meet with my dad." Luna observes from the landing on the upper floor, this is Elektra Forrester. Brooke touches Ridge's chest at the Forrester mansion as she reminds him that she accepted the CEO role because she was committed to him. He turns his back on her and tells her that what she did was wrong. She ought to have done the right thing and criticized Hope and Carter for their actions while she was in front of the cameras. Brooke objects. Ridge claims that she didn't support them. Nothing about this or anything else demonstrates loyalty. Brooke appears in disbelief. Ridge Brooke bed and breakfast. When he questions Elektra about the Remy problem at his house, she explains everything. Luna hears her say that Will was the hero who came to the rescue upstairs. Will and Elektra continue to describe how terrifying the situation with Remy on the rooftop got, and Luna smiles. Will punched Remy, according to Elektra. Will would have stopped him at nothing. I couldn't let you go, he says to Elektra. Luna grinned. Taylor tells her daughter at the Cliff house that she doesn't really care for Brooke. I'm not letting the threat of Brooke loom in my mind because I know what your father and I have, she says, unconcerned with what she does. Why the change? Steffi asks. Taylor is content with her life and doesn't want to continue living in that destructive pattern. They embrace as she exclaims, life is too good to be worrying about Brooke. Brooke restates at the Forrester residence that she became CEO in order to return control of the business to Ridge. She begs him to simply return home because she wants to end this chapter. He inquires as to whether she anticipates him sharing Hope's home. Brooke believes they will adjust to it. Ridge screams that Brooke didn't even speak to him before taking the CEO job, and he claims that Carter's proposal will destroy their family business. He believes she is unable to recognize how her daughter is manipulating her. Carter requested Brooke to write a statement, but she still wanted to speak with him. Ridge witnessed what happened to his father when he saw her on camera. Because she's doing this for him, Brooke objects. I'm not betraying you, Ridge maintains that she is. You didn't support us. You didn't stand up for us. She is now on the enemy's side. Ridge says, I don't think I can ever get past this, Brooke, and Brooke narrows her eyes. Ridge Brooke bed and breakfast. As Steffi phones Finn to inform him that the children have left, Taylor smiles at the Cliff house. After she disconnects, Taylor says she will go check on Ridge. I can really feel the love of your father, she thinks, acknowledging that this is a reawakening. Steffi taunts, let me know if I need to wait up for you, as Taylor leaves. Brooke tells Ridge at the Forrester estate that he will realize when he has the company back. Ridge groans, realize what? He yells that Hope drove Carter to do this because it's who she is and that she is not the cunning manipulator we all believe her to be. She repeatedly broke Thomas's heart until he left, at which point she pursued Finn. Brooke demands that her daughter respect Steffi's sentiments and put an end to that. She went straight for Carter, which is why Ridge is upset. Brooke is in with them now. Brooke informs him that hearing him call her daughter derogatory names makes her sick. It's wrong and beneath him. The same is true of rapidly turning to Taylor. How could you suddenly turn on us? I'm not sure I understand. How did you manage that? Ridge Brooke bed and breakfast. Elektra apologizes for giving Bill so much information at his house. Bill is delighted to have met her and is relieved that she is doing well. He is informed by Elektra that his son is a remarkable man. Luna observes and ponders. At home, Steffi recalls how delighted she was to see her parents together. She grins. Steffi B&B. Brooke tells Ridge at the Forrester mansion that she thought he was dedicated to their love and to their life together. He always goes to Taylor to boost his ego, which is the same thing he always does. According to Ridge, just one woman is faithful to him. He made his decision to share his bed with Taylor, Brooke informs him. Now she will make hers. She deserves a man who loves her unconditionally and won't be a victim. It's definitely not him. Brooke regrets accepting that fucking catering job all those years ago and never having set foot in that house. I'm finished. Brooke exclaims, "You're done with me, but you're still going to run my family business." Ridge groans, "I can't do this anymore. I am a member of your family. Your family has always included me." How can he perceive her as inferior to the others when you don't see that? Brooke gives him a cheek slap. As Brooke stalks out the door, she shoves a surprised Taylor as she enters, saying, "Have fun with Taylor, your second choice." Taylor looks at Ridge in awe. Of course. The dramatic storytelling approach of The Bold and the Beautiful is a good fit for developing a thorough and captivating plot around the drama you've described. This is a 1,500-word investigation. Brooke slaps Ridge and shoves Taylor when he declares her his enemy and won't forgive her, and Luna has eyes for Will. Weeks of boiling tension appeared to stop as Ridge Forrester stood in front of Brooke Logan in the Forrester living room, his voice a mix of icy rage and unyielding resolve. With finality in his voice, he said, "Brooke, you're my enemy now. I am unable to pardon you for your actions." Brooke remained silent for a while as her mind tried to absorb the significance of what he had said. She was drawing a line in the sand with the guy she had loved for decades and who she had battled for and against in equal measure. But as the stillness drew on, she was overcome with rage rather than sadness or regret. "Do you dare to label me your adversary?" Brooke's voice lifted, shaky with emotion. "You believe that one statement will be enough to erase everything we've been through and everything I've given up for you and this family? No, Ridge. I will not allow you to." Ridge's keen gaze remained unwavering as his jaw tightened. "Brooke, this is about more than just us. It has to do with trust, loyalty, and the realization that you have betrayed all of them. You've always twisted events to fit your story, but this time it's different." "I'm finished." Brooke stepped closer to him, her eyes flashing with rage. "Are you finished? Ridge, what about your betrayals? What about all the times you fluctuated between Taylor and me, playing us off one another like a game and stringing us along? You don't have the right to pretend to be the victim." Taylor Hayes, who had been silently observing the conversation from the room's corner, spotted her chance to step in. Perhaps it's time for Brooke to acknowledge that Ridge is making a choice for himself, his family, and his peace of mind. "This is no longer about you." The explosion was started by that spark. With a poisonous look on her face, Brooke turned to face Taylor. "Oh, Taylor, of course. The everlasting martyr. Every time Ridge decides he wants a change of scenery, they are always prepared to jump in and pick up the pieces. Never assume that I don't see right through your charade." Taylor made an effort to remain calm, but Brooke's charges triggered her emotions. "Brooke, this isn't about me. It has to do with your inability to acknowledge your mistakes. Perhaps Ridge has finally come to the realization that he deserves more, but you always act like you're the center of the universe. Ridge's quiet during this conversation was deafening, and Brooke became enraged when she returned her focus to him. She struck him in the face without thinking, a hard, piercing punch that seemed to reverberate throughout the tight room. Ridge didn't flinch, but his expression stiffened. "Brooke, that's precisely who you are. You are always reacting and snapping when things don't go your way. This merely supports what I said." Although Brooke's palm shook, her determination remained unwavering. "And, Ridge, you're demonstrating mine. You are a coward who hides behind your self-righteousness because you are unable to own your shortcomings as a man, a spouse, and a father." Taylor took a step forward and spoke firmly. "That's sufficient, Brooke. You're going too far." Brooke wasn't finished, though. She pushed Taylor back with an impetuous shove, causing the former psychiatrist to stumble a little before regaining her equilibrium. Although Taylor's eyes widened in surprise, Ridge's response was what really chilled the room. His voice was low and threatening as he replied, "Get out. Now, Brooke. You'll regret it if you do something else first." Breathing quickly, Brooke's chest rose and fell as she hesitated for a second. However, she realized there was no way to win this struggle as she gazed at Ridge and the icy finality in his eyes. She laughed mockingly, picked up her purse, and hurried out, slamming the door behind her. Luna, meanwhile, finds herself attracted to Will. Another storm was building somewhere else while Ridge, Brooke, and Taylor's drama played out. Luna Nozawa was already a lightning rod for controversy due to her enigmatic past and uncertain future, but now she was caught up in something she hadn't expected. Will Spencer, the son of Bill Spencer and Katie Logan, had just happened to meet her. Will, in contrast to his father, had an air of brilliance and quiet confidence that captivated Luna. He wasn't brazen or intrusive, yet something about his calm manner and witty remarks set him apart. Will was a welcome change for Luna, who had been cautious and wary of other people's motives for a large portion of her life. He didn't question her about her background or hold her accountable for her errors. Rather, he listened, provided insightful commentary, and gave her a sense of being seen that she had never had before. Will, on the other hand, found Luna to be just as captivating. He was captivated by her depth and resilience in spite of the mayhem all around her. Despite the insurmountable obstacles, he respected her will to forge a new path for herself. It became evident that there was a spark between them as their interactions increased in frequency. Neither had anticipated it, but it was impossible to ignore. Their growing bond was not overlooked, though. Ever the skilled manipulator and protective parent, Bill started to show interest in their relationship. It was unclear whether Bill was sincerely worried about Will's relationship with Luna or if he was just looking for another chance to steer the conversation and take advantage of the circumstances. In any event, his looming presence threatened to make an already difficult situation much more complicated. Returning to Ridge and Taylor. Ridge and Taylor had to pick up the pieces of the explosive encounter after Brooke fled. Even though Brooke's scream had shaken Taylor, she couldn't help but feel validated. She had spent years in the background, seeing the recurrence of Ridge and Brooke's destructive cycle. The tides appeared to be finally changing now. "Are you all right?" Taylor walked up to Ridge and requested in a quiet voice. Ridge nodded, but his face was still worried. "After that, I'm not sure if I'll ever be all right. One thing is certain, though, I'm over Brooke. This time, for good." Taylor touched his arm reassuringly. "Ridge, you deserve serenity. Perhaps this marks the beginning of a new chapter for us both." However, the threat of Brooke's anger and resolve hung heavy as they stood there, wondering what the future could bring. Ridge may have labeled her his adversary, but Brooke Logan wasn't one to give up easily. #### A storm is approaching. There was no doubt that the drama was far from ended as the parts of this complex puzzle started to move. Bill's schemes, Luna's developing relationship with Will, and Brooke's fiery personality were all about to intersect in unexpected ways. As their lives continued to be shaped by the unrelenting quest of love, power, and redemption, the characters of the bold and the beautiful could only prepare for the turmoil that was certain to ensue as old wounds were reopened and new alliances were established. Poppy Nozawa's seemingly routine day took a dramatic turn when she happened upon something, or rather, someone, that she never thought she would see again, in a turn of events that no one saw coming. As rumors about Luna's release from prison spread throughout Los Angeles, the tension had been rising for weeks, but Poppy had dismissed them. Her estranged daughter Luna had always been adept at slipping through the cracks, leaving only confusion and unanswered questions in her wake. Poppy was now in shock at the sight of Luna, alive, well, and presumably hiding out in one of the most influential men's houses in the city, as she stood in the vast but foreboding expanse of Bill Spencer's estate. Poppy had decided to go to Bill's estate for reasons other than simple curiosity. Poppy, who is a writer with a knack for scandal and tales, had heard rumors about Bill's recent antics, including his mysterious role in Luna's release. Poppy had been shivering at the mere notion of Bill Spencer interfering in Luna's life. Bill was a guy who embodied everything Poppy had intended to shield Luna from: power-hungry, cunning, and unrelenting in his quest for dominance. Their family had spent years attempting to free themselves from harmful influences. However, nothing had prepared her for seeing her daughter, who appeared to fit right in with Bill's large living room, reclining on an elaborate sofa. Poppy had studied Luna's face throughout her life, and it was a combination of vulnerability and rebellion. Time appeared to stop for a second as their eyes locked as she raised her head from her chair. With a voice hardly audible above a whisper, Luna whispered, "Mom," a word laden with years of unresolved tension and unsaid facts. Poppy took a step closer, her head racing, her heart clenching. How did this happen? They had argued angrily the last time she had seen Luna, their relationship breaking down under the burden of miscommunications and secrets. Her daughter was now inside the beast's tummy. "Luna, what are you doing here?" Poppy inquired, her tone piercing but with a hint of maternal worry. "And of all people, why are you dating Bill Spencer?" Luna paused, her eyes darting to the doorway as if she thought Bill would show up any second. Finally, in an evasive tone, she stated, "It's complicated. But I'm all right. You shouldn't be concerned." "All right," Poppy repeated, unable to believe it. "You're hiding in Bill Spencer's estate, and you think I'm okay with it? Are you familiar with this man? What is he able to do?" Luna's jaw tensed, and her daughter's eyes briefly displayed the resistance Poppy was so familiar with. "Mom, I know exactly who he is. And I don't need you to come here and act like I'm a stupid child with no idea what she's doing." Poppy's rage erupted, but she made herself inhale deeply. Their customary back and forth was not appropriate at this moment. Poppy demanded answers, and it was obvious that Luna was having problems. Poppy turned just in time to see Bill Spencer himself briskly enter the room as the sound of approaching footsteps reverberated through the corridor, seemingly at the exact moment. He was as calm and collected as ever, but as he absorbed the sight, a glimmer of irritation appeared in his eyes. "Well, well," Bill uttered, his voice brimming with his trademark mix of threat and charm. "Unless it's the notorious Poppy Nozawa. Why are you unexpectedly in my house?" Poppy wasted no time at all. "Bill, stop the act. What have you done to get my daughter out of jail, and why is she here?" Bill's tone toughened, but his smile remained unwavering. "Poppy, I owe you no explanations. Luna is here because I gave her another chance, which you reportedly couldn't give her." Poppy clenched his hands at his foolishness. "You have no right to attempt to elevate this. You always have a purpose for whatever you do, as we both know." "Well, Bill, what is it? Why Luna? What do you stand to gain?" Bill's eyes went to Luna, who appeared more uneasy with the attention. With ease, he stated, "Luna has potential. I admire her for her intelligence, resourcefulness, and determination. She seems like she has potential, and I'm giving her the chance to succeed." Poppy gave a snort. "You want me to think you're being the kind mentor? Please. Bill, you're keeping something from me, and I won't go until I know what it is." After being silent during the conversation, Luna eventually spoke up. "Stop, Mom. It's not what you believe." Poppy's gaze softened somewhat as she turned to face her daughter. "Then, Luna, tell me what it is. Please explain to me why you are here and why you choose not to seek my assistance." Luna briefly resembled the young child Poppy had worked so hard to shield as her shoulders drooped. Luna's voice broke as she added, "Because you don't get it. I'm not what you've always wanted me to be. However, Bill recognizes me for who I am. I have an opportunity to prove myself because of him." Poppy's daughter's words made her heart hurt. "Luna, you don't require any proof from him. Without him and without his constraints, you are capable of so much more." Bill interrupted, his voice piercing the tension. "Enough. Luna is present because she chooses to be here. Poppy, she is an adult and is capable of making her own decisions without your consent." Poppy's eyes squinted. "And what happens, Bill, when she no longer serves your purposes? What if you determine that her potential isn't worth the work? Will you disregard her the way you've treated every other person who has come into contact with you?" Bill's grin wavered, but Luna moved in front of him before he could react. "Stop it. You too. I will not allow you two to destroy each other since this is my life." Poppy's eyes were full of love and frustration as she gazed at her daughter. "I only care about what's best for you, Luna. Even though we haven't always agreed, I've always supported you. Don't let him control you, please." Luna paused for a second, her will faltering, and then she straightened her shoulders. "Mom, I know what I'm doing. Additionally, I need your faith." With instincts telling her to bring Luna out of Bill's house and never turn back, Poppy swallowed hard. However, she was also aware that exerting too much pressure could only make her daughter more distant. Reluctantly, Poppy answered, "All right. However, I'm not leaving. I'll be closely monitoring things if you're staying here. Never assume that I'm going to let him get away with whatever game he's playing." Bill laughed, his self-assurance coming back. "Poppy, you can remain as long as you wish. But since you might be here for a while, I advise you to settle in." Luna's heart fell when Poppy grudgingly left the room. Although she was aware that her mother's worries were legitimate, she couldn't get rid of the impression that Bill was the key to the future she so badly desired. It was unclear if that future would lead to salvation or disaster, but one thing was for sure, their lives were going to get even more intertwined, with unknowable repercussions. A dramatic examination of family dynamics, ulterior intentions, and the complex network of relationships that underpin the bold and the beautiful is set up in this scene. If you want to elaborate on any particular points, please let me know.